Today, we're talking about one of the most ambitious and expensive games ever conceived, Star Citizen. You've probably heard the name whispered in the back alleys of the internet. It's got a massive, albeit niche, following, but has still yet to hit the big time. So let's dive into the frustrating, fascinating, and sometimes unbelievable story of Star Citizen. Because when it comes to this game, the real drama isn't in the cockpit, it's in the comments section. So, Star Citizen looks pretty sweet, huh? But is it all sizzle? No steak? Another Starfield? Yup, I'm just getting started. This game isn't just a game, it's a spectacle. A case study in what happens when you throw a crowdfunding party that never ends, with a side of community engagement that borders on a support group. It's a game whose scope has constantly outpaced its development. The double-edged sword of ambition. Cuts both ways. But ambition, as they say, has a price. And for Star Citizen, it seems that price is time. 13 years of development, and a hall of fame of controversies. It's had legal dramas, like the glorious lawsuit with Crytek that ended with both parties running away in opposite directions, and a slightly critical Forbes article that served as a public report card, reigniting the "this game is a scam" debate to a fever pitch. There was even the short-lived Flight Blades controversy, a magnificent pay-to-win moment where they tried to sell exclusive ship upgrades for real money, only to face such an uproar that they immediately ran away from that idea too. And let's not forget the refund fiascos and the sheer chaos of an in-game economy so broken it led to hundreds of accounts being banned for exploits. Is it a scam? Honestly, at this point, who even knows? But let's keep going. With such a fiasco ride, it raises some serious questions like, how long can a community keep pouring money into a dream? What happens when a vision is so grand it can't possibly be realized? And where exactly is the line between a labor of love and an endless cycle of development hell? And it's at this point I urge you to buckle in tight, buccos, we're going in deeper. Introducing the main man behind the curtain, Chris Roberts. He's the legend who gave us Wing Commander. It's an old-timer classic, kids. After a few decades away from the director's chair, he came back with a vision that was so inconceivably grand. It's like his brain cooked up, this game is going to achieve sentience, win the Nobel Peace Prize, and immediately file for divorce from me, citing creative differences. This was to be a game free from the meddling of pesky publishers, those folks who insist on things like deadlines and finished products. He envisioned a game where you could do anything, fly any ship, land on any planet, and have a persistent universe that was so real you could almost smell the recycled air on the space station. It was a vision that had all the creative constraints of a drunk man with a crayon, and drunk Chris Roberts turned to the only people who would truly understand him, his fans. The Kickstarter wasn't a funding model, it was a pact, a mutual leap of faith where the backers, romantics and visionaries in their own rights put their money down on a dream so bold and grand, it made a perpetual motion machine look like a perfectly reasonable business plan. And so with that, let me present to you a quick and painful breakdown of the pricing of starships you can buy. Firstly, we have the "I'm just trying this out" tier. Ships under $100. Adorable. This gets you less of a starship and more of a glorified space scooter. You're not exploring the verse. You're taking a quick trip to the galactic corner shop for space milk. It's small, flimsy, and has easy targets written all over the thing. If it's dignity you're after, that's gonna cost you at least another $200, friend. Which is where we progress to the "okay, I'm kinda hooked" tier. Ships between $100 and $300. You're starting to dip your toes into the shallow end of the fiscal insanity pool. You bought a starter ship and kinda had a good time. Now you're back, hovering over the pledge store like a moth to a flame. And of course, this naturally leads into the "I swear this is the last one" tier. We know that's a lie. Ships between $300 and $700. Tier 4. The wait, is that more than my rent? Ships over $700. At this point, you're not just buying a ship, you're making a lifestyle choice. A terrible, wonderful, completely unhinged lifestyle choice. And lastly, for the goats, we have the My Kids College Fund package. $48,000. Congratulations, you've reached the point of no return. You've bought a virtual space fleet that costs more than my annual salary. When you fly, you're not just flying a ship, you're flying the entire concept of financial responsibility into a sun and watching it burn with a smile. I should further mention at this point, if you want to buy this package, there is a catch, because you can't even see this thing on the store unless you've already spent a significant amount. It's a velvet rope for people who have already proven their insanity. Oh, and in case this has turned into an inadvertent sales pitch and you're now itching to buy, well, it's your lucky day. It looks like they're in stock. Wait, what? Anyway. Chin chin to the glory of Star Citizen, because the money just keeps flowing. With a budget now exceeding $800 million, Chris's backers became the most permissive publishers in history. So with all of that, let's fast forward to today. Those original backers are now the grizzled, cynical veterans of the verse. They've seen it all: server wipes, countless bugs, ship hours that promise more than they deliver, the endless roadmaps that seem to go nowhere, and the ever-present knowledge that their digital starship, which is worth more than their actual car, is still a collection of pixels in perpetual alpha state. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if the next big update is a fully functional, in-game legally binding divorce court for all the backers who spent their spouse's money on a virtual fleet. The thing is, the man's ambition is a force of nature. It's like he has an idea, and instead of just putting it into the game, he has to put an entire new engine in to support it, then a new system to support that engine, then eventually a server mesh to hold all the tech loop together. This is a project with more moving parts than a Swiss watch factory. Think less feature creep, think more feature tsunami. The problem as I see it is that he's a creative visionary who, by all accounts, just can't seem to stop creating. Well, it's his project, his dream, and we're all just living in it, or more accurately, the majority of us are just waiting for it to be finished, at which point I'm sure the game will have a mortgage, a few kids in college, and a midlife crisis. But listen, let's try to be fair to Chris Roberts for a second. I really do believe he meant well with Star Citizen's inception, a dream so pure, so ambitious, it was the gaming equivalent of a little puppy asking for a bigger backyard. But like a well-meaning parent who buys their kid a small goldfish only to have the kid keep adding more and more fish until the entire living room is a gigantic unfiltered tank, his vision spirals with no end in sight. At this point I can only conclude, he just wanted to build and fly a spaceship, but instead accidentally created a digital representation of entropy itself, destined to achieve the eventual heat death of the game's universe shortly before our real universe ends. And on that note, we have some time to discuss the whole still in alpha thing. As you are likely aware, alphas they have issues. One of the biggest and a point of constant gripe for players is the dreaded server wipe. It's a digital apocalypse, a cosmic do-over, where all your hard-earned in-game currency, all the spaceships you've spent countless hours grinding for, and all the progress you've made in this beautifully unfinished universe gets wiped from the face of the galaxy. The one thing that is safe, of course, are the ships and items bought with real money. Funny how that works. Before I tail this video off, I almost forgot. Quick mention of Squadron 42, the single-player game built off Star Citizen. This project has existed in a state of suspended animation for so long, its star-studded cast including Mark Hamill, Gary Oldman and Gillian Anderson have lightly recorded their lines and completely forgotten they were ever in the game. The real question with all of this is whether it truly wants to be a visionary project or a brilliant money-making machine. As a success, of course, it needs to be both. But what truly matters most to Chris is a question for the ages. What's possible with Star Citizen is palpable. Now please, For the love of all that is good, Chris, just put the crayon down and finish the game. And thank you for watching this entirely too sarcastic video on Star Citizen. I mean, the drama behind this game was just too much fun to let go. I sincerely hope you enjoyed the ride. Hell, you made it this far. Bravo. Right, I'm off for something to eat. Starving? It feels like my hunger has been in perpetual development for years. Ah, my very own Star Citizen. What am I saying? I'm done. Bye for now.